After a month of rumors and speculation about a gigantic Nintendo Direct coming on January 11th, people were understandably disappointed when what we ended up getting was an unannounced Nintendo Direct Mini that was almost as small as my infamous peepee. But whether you were in the camp of people who were disappointed, or among the non-Wii U owners who loved the news, it doesn't really matter in the long run, cause everybody seems to agree that the Direct Mini wasn't all Nintendo has in store for 2018. So the real questions are, what's Nintendo hiding, why are they hiding it, and when are they gonna reveal their dirty little secrets? Well, when I asked one of my many anonymous sources within Nintendo who only wishes to be identified as S. Miyamoto, he told me to fuck off. And then I cried. So let's take some educated guesses instead. So the first big question is just what in the heck is N-Dog hiding? I've made a few videos lately talking about what games I'm expecting and or hoping for in 2018, so I won't talk about it too much here. But I'm telling you, it's gotta be big, considering the Switch is Nintendo's only focus these days. Even though I do think the 3DS is gonna stick around a little while longer, just without new games being released by Nintendo outside of older ones being localized for outside of Japan. We all know damn well Nintendo has way more in the works than the Wii U ports and Kirby from the Direct Mini. Not to say the ports are a bad thing at all, though. They're perfect for filling the gaps in between bigger releases. And for people who didn't own the Wii U, some of these are big releases. And besides, the Switch versions have much bigger improvements anyway. So I don't think it's something we can really get mad about since we don't have to buy these games. Just as long as Nintendo's releasing new games alongside the old ones. And if you are mad about the ports, then just think about all the people who've never played these games before. Tropical Freeze is one of the best platformers ever made. And if you disagree with that, then meet me at this location for a good old round of fisticuffs. Since I've made a video defending Wii U games being ported over to the Switch, I'll just say that if I've never had a Wii U before, I'd be a happy full-grown man for the next few months. But still, Nintendo clearly held back in the Direct Mini since they left games out that we know for sure are being worked on. They didn't say anything about the new Yoshi game, Metroid Prime 4, or even that darn Milkman. By adding the word mini to the Direct, which I do think was the plan all along, it lets people know that it's only an appetizer for what's to come. So the next question's, why's Nintendo gotta be a butt-ass and hide the bigger games? Well, cause there's no reason to show them off right now, dingus. Last year's January Direct was so huge cause it needed to be, with the Switch being so close to launch and very little being known about the game lineup. Plus, N-Dog needed to cleanse everybody's palates of the bad taste people still had in their mouths from the Wii U. And the fact that they abandoned it about as fast as Sega did with the Saturn, which is something that hurt the Dreamcast. And before anybody tries to shove a pencil eraser up my ass in the comments below, I know there was a little more to it with the Dreamcast, but that's a topic for another video I'm not gonna make. Like many others, I thought having a big January Direct was gonna become an annual thing. But Nintendo slapped our filthy little paws with a mini Direct as if we were a fat kid asking for more food before even finishing a feast that was just provided to us. I.e. Mario Odyssey, Xenoblade 2, and everything else from the holidays. I don't think the purpose of the mini Direct was to be a pawn and take all the heat, nor do I think it was intended to disappoint people on purpose. I mean, it makes sense to announce in January the games that are coming out till the summer. I'm just saying it worked out well for Nintendo, cause when the full Direct surprises people the day before like how it's supposed to, there won't be enough time to build unreasonably high expectations. But again, we all know for certain Nintendo has a lot of bigger games up their sleeves, we just don't know when they'll be announced. I mean, besides Bayonetta 3, Nintendo hasn't really announced any new games since 2017's E3, and I don't think they've been sitting around ever since then with their thumbs up their asses. So the biggest question on everybody's minds is, if Nintendo's next big Direct wasn't intended for January 11th, then when will it be? I saw that thing on Reddit talking about how there'd be a bigger Direct soon, but let's not take it as gospel and build up too much hype again. I'm not saying that the 20-day Reddit theory is wrong, just that we shouldn't get our hopes up again. But it does seem probable that there'd be another Direct before too long, seeing as how it was obvious Nintendo was intentionally holding back in the Direct Mini. And it makes sense to me now why Nintendo would randomly announce Bayonetta 3 in December. I mean, they had to announce Bayonettas 1 and 2, cause it had been too close to those games' release dates to announce them in the Direct Mini. All the games that were announced in the Direct Mini are coming out in March at the earliest, after all. Nintendo probably wanted to give people enough of a heads up for the games that are coming out within the next 2 months. I mean, they wouldn't just announce a game and say, hey, by the way, it's out next week, assholes, have fun. But if you're gonna announce the first 2 Bayonettas, then it makes sense to announce the third one right after, cause why not? Before I made the assumption that they announced Bayonetta 3 in December so it wouldn't get lost in the shuffle on the gigantic January Direct, but I guess it's true what they say about assumptions. If you make them, your ass is gonna and shun you. Hey, that's not supposed to be funny. It seems logical that we won't go too long before the full Nintendo Direct, because if they wait too long, then it gets too close to E3 and you have to have big stuff announced for that. Otherwise, you look like a loser. And one thing my anonymous source, Mr. Miyamoto, did tell me was that he's trying to impress this girl he has the hots for. And you just can't impress the ladies by disappointing people with your E3 Nintendo Direct. It's Attraction 101, folks. So if I had to guess, and I am guessing without all the National Treasure deductions like Reddit made, then I'd say the full Nintendo Direct will be out by March. And while I've already speculated what games Nintendo will announce and release in 2018, I don't even want to try to speculate on how they'll divide the announcements up. There might even be multiple Directs before June, since a game like Pokemon deserves its own spotlight. I doubt Nintendo would leave us hanging on a Direct Mini for 5 months. After all, N-Dog's a publicly traded company, and maintaining hype's a great way to keep your shareholders happy and your stock prices up.
For the last time, anything you put on that prompter,
Cameron
will read.
Not to mention maintaining hype's also good for console sales. So they're gonna have to give us something before June, and April's too close to E3 for a big announcement. So I just can't imagine they'd wait longer than March for the next Direct, and they might even have one sooner than that. I think giving us a tiny little taste of some big games coming out for the holiday season is important to build hype throughout the year. It worked wonders for Mario Odyssey, and we all know there absolutely has to be at least one big first-party game for the holidays. So why not build hype all year instead of for just 6 months by waiting till E3 to announce something? And with all the hype and high expectations being deflated thanks to the Direct Mini, I'm sure whatever Nintendo ends up announcing before June will create a lot of buzz, even if they have to hold back a little bit and save the biggest news for E3. I'd imagine the N-Boys want to keep the Switch's momentum up to top the Wii's lifetime sales, which I do believe they'll succeed with. And even though I think the Switch can coast till the summer with just the games we know about right now, I think Nintendo can do a lot more than just coast by giving us a whiff of whatever it is they're really cooking next. What do you think, though? Does Nintendo have a full Direct coming sooner than later? Or do you think we'll have to wait till E3 to see what they've been working on? And what do you think the wild card the third parties have in store? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and as always, I'll pin whatever I find most entertaining. Don't forget to like and share this video if you want to help this channel grow, and if you're a super ultra mega badass who likes being pandered to and N-slates, then I dare you to click the subscribe button if you haven't already. My name's Cameron, and I'll see you next time.
So I want to say thank you to your loyalty, thank you for your support.